So now I am going to start the topic vectors. So vectors you cannot actually consider it as one of the topics in the physics. You find the application of vectors in most of the topics. We deal in both 11th class and 12th class or junior inter and senior inter syllabus. You find the application of vectors almost in 50% of the topics. You find the application of vectors. So therefore it will be necessary to give some good time for this topic vectors, because you find the application of the laws of vector addition and vector subtraction in problems, particularly mechanics, and also you find the application of laws of vector addition in many other topics like static electricity, magnetism, etc. So therefore you have to definitely pay more attention to this topic, and you should be as thorough as possible in this topic with what I discuss and explain. Now, so in each class you will be, as I discuss theory part, I will be first giving you the explanation on the screen. You need not try to completely write my explanation part, I mean for theory part. So after my explanation part is completed, I will be showing you the notes on the screen, PowerPoint. So those students who want to make the notes, they can start writing the notes only after the notes, I mean the printed form of the notes is shown on the screen. So, but when I am discussing some concept on the screen, it's not necessary for you to write running notes. So I will be telling you when you need to copy the notes in case you want to copy the notes. Of course, those students who have my classes in their system, it may not be compulsory necessary for them to copy the notes, because whenever they want to go through the classes, they can go through the classes. The notes will be there in their computer or system with them. But those students who have the habit of writing the notes and feel the need to write the notes, or they may, usually the students gain more familiarity once they write the notes with each chapter, so that way you can write the notes. But don't write the running notes here when I am giving the explanation part for theoretical concepts. So in this chapter, vectors, as you have studied this topic already by this time in your junior intermediate classes or 11th classes, even in the school level also, you might have heard these terms, vectors and scalars. So all the physical quantities which we discuss in mechanics and other topics are broadly classified into two types. I mean, most of the quantities can be broadly classified into these two types, scalar quantities and vector quantities. So a physical quantity which has only magnitude but no direction is called a scalar quantity. A physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction, and which can be graphically represented by a direct line segment is called a vector quantity. So at first I am going to show you some examples for scalar quantities and some examples for vector quantities on the screen. And those students who want to copy the list of the examples, they can copy the list of the examples. So at present, I am not going to discuss why a particular physical quantity is a scalar and why a particular physical quantity is a vector. So I am going to just show you the list of the examples for scalar and vector quantities which you come across in regular intermediate syllabus. Because sometimes you are given questions whether a particular physical quantity is scalar or vector. Like that. So look at these examples. So there are some terms which look similar meaning at the elementary level, but one of them is scalar, other is a vector. Distance is a scalar quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. Of course, these terms will be discussed again in kinematics. Time is a scalar quantity. Mass is a scalar quantity. Density is a scalar quantity. Acceleration is a vector. Linear momentum is a vector. Force is a vector quantity. Mass of a body is a scalar quantity, but weight of the body is considered as a vector quantity because weight represents the gravitational force on the body by the earth. Anyhow, we discuss these terms in the coming chapter. Work is a scalar quantity. Energy is a scalar quantity. Power is a scalar quantity. Temperature is a scalar quantity. Thermal capacity. The most of the quantities in calorimetry, they have been in calorimetry. There are a number of terms which are defined in terms of the heat energy. Heat energy is a scalar, or any form of energy is a scalar. I mean, any type of energy or any form of energy is a scalar. We can say potential energy is scalar, kinetic energy is a scalar, heat energy is scalar. So thermal capacity is a scalar quantity. Specific heat is a scalar quantity. Gravitational potential is a scalar. In general, any potential is scalar. Electric potential is a scalar. Magnetic potential is scalar. Any potential is a scalar. Frequency is a scalar quantity. Surface tension is considered scalar quantity. Electric charge is a scalar quantity. Electric current is a scalar quantity. Electric potential is a scalar quantity. Magnetic pole strength, magnetic flux. These are some of the examples for scalar quantities which you come across in your 2-year intermediate syllabus. And coming to the examples here for vector quantities, as I already told you, weight is a vector quantity, impulse is a vector quantity, gravitational intensity is a vector quantity. Those who want to make the notes, they can copy these examples. Displacement amplitude is a vector quantity. Electric intensity is a vector quantity. In general, potential is a scalar, intensity is a vector. Gravitational intensity is a vector, electric intensity is a vector, magnetic intensity is a vector. Electric current is a scalar, but there is one term called current density. That is vector quantity. Electric dipole moment is a vector quantity. Magnetic dipole moment is a vector quantity. magnetic flux density, which is sometimes also called as magnetic induction, is a vector quantity. Magnetic intensity is a vector quantity. So if you want to copy the list of these examples, you can take a pause and copy the examples. Now I am going to discuss some introduction part for vectors. After copying these examples, you can stop reading, just concentrate on listening and look at the screen. Now a physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction and which can be graphically represented by a director line segment is called a vector quantity. Suppose if you want to express a force of magnitude 100 Newton which acts at an angle of 60 degrees above the horizontal in the vertical plane, then we choose a convenient scale. That means the same way as you choose a scale for drawing graphs. Some of you might have drawn simple graphs in the school level. You choose scale on x-axis, 1 centimeter equals so many units. Scale on y-axis is 1 centimeter equals so many units, like that. The similar way, you can choose a convenient scale to represent the magnitude of the force. For example, if you want to represent a force of magnitude 100 Newton, we can choose a convenient scale this way. 1 centimeter length is equivalent to 20 Newtons. Therefore, if you want to represent a force of magnitude 100 Newton, you can draw a director line segment of length 5 centimeter. At an angle of 60 degrees above the horizontal. That means graphically a vector quantity can be represented by a director line segment, means a straight line with arrowhead. The length of the line represents the magnitude of the vector, and the arrowhead indicates the direction of the vector. This we call head of the vector or initial point. This we call tail of the vector or a terminal point. Mathematically, vector is represented by using an alphabet with a small line above that letter. So mathematically, vector is represented by using a letter or an alphabet with a small line above the letter, which we read it as bar. So this we read as F bar. If you just write letter F without using that bar symbol, it represents magnitude of the force F bar, which is equal to 100 newtons in the present example. But you should not write F bar equal to 100 newtons. Some students commit this mistake. They equate vector with the magnitude. You should never do that. Mathematically, the modulus or magnitude of a vector can be considered scalar. So in general, a vector quantity can be graphically represented by director line segment. The length of the line gives you the magnitude of vector, and the arrowhead indicates the direction of the vector. Mathematically, vector is represented by using an alphabet or a letter with a bar symbol above the letter. Suppose if A bar is a vector, which is represented graphically as shown in the diagram, then if you just write the letter A without using that bar symbol, should not be treated as a vector. If you just write letter A without the bar symbol, it represents magnitude of vector A bar or modulus of vector A bar. Similarly, if B bar is another vector which acts in the direction as shown in the figure. If you just write letter B without the bar symbol above it, it represents modulus of vector B bar or magnitude of vector B bar. The modulus or magnitude of vector cannot be negative. The modulus or magnitude of vector cannot be negative. So mathematically speaking, if A bar and B bar are suppose two vectors, you can say that A and B are two scalars. I mean, if you just write letters A and B without bar symbols, they can be mathematically considered scalars because they just represent only the magnitudes. Only magnitude means it should be considered scalar. So mathematically, the magnitude of vector can be considered like a scalar. Sometimes you can be given a question. What kind of physical quantity the magnitude of vector represents? Then answer should be written as scalar. So next, I am going to discuss about equality of two vectors. So next, talk about equality of two vectors. So in general, two vectors are said to be equal if and only if they have same magnitude and same direction. Graphically, a given vector can be drawn at a different place in the diagram without changing its magnitude and direction. Suppose P bar is a vector. For convenience in the solution of the problem, sometimes we may draw a vector parallel to itself at a different place in the figure without changing its magnitude and direction in the graphical representation. So at present we talk about the vectors we call free vectors. That means graphically it makes no difference wherever you may draw a vector in the diagram. Of course, later in rotational dynamics, we talk about localized vectors where point of application of the force or vector also has importance. But at present, we talk about the graphical representation of vectors as we discussed in the examples in the topics before rotational dynamics. So graphically, you can draw a vector at any other place in the diagram parallel to itself without changing its length or magnitude and direction. Okay, that means you can draw a vector parallel to itself anywhere else in the figure. So this is P bar means this is also P bar. If they have same length and same magnitude and same direction. So two vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and same direction. Sometimes you come across problems where two vectors may have same magnitude but act in different directions. Suppose if two vectors A bar and B bar have equal magnitudes but act in different directions as shown in the figure, we can write modulus of A bar equal to modulus of B bar, or you can write A equal to B. If you write A equal to B, does not mean that vectors are equal. It just means that modulus of A bar is same as modulus of B bar, or magnitude of A bar is same as magnitude of B bar. You can say that A bar is not equal to B bar in this figure because two vectors are said to be equal if and only if they have same magnitude and as well as same direction. So in this case, vector A bar is not equal to vector B bar because directions of the two vectors are different. But if you are given that, suppose two vectors P bar and Q bar are equal, it automatically implies that P bar and Q bar have same magnitude and also same direction. That means if you are given that two vectors are equal, you can conclude that they have same magnitude. and of course also same direction. But if you are given that two vectors have same magnitude, you cannot conclude that vectors are equal. So next I would like to discuss about negative vector. So in general, suppose if q bar is a vector, then minus q bar can be defined as another vector. Or you can say if q bar is a vector, minus q bar is a different vector which has same magnitude as the vector q bar but acts in the opposite direction. Therefore, if q bar is a non-zero vector, we can write mod of minus q bar is same as mod of q bar. And modulus of vector q bar can be written as q. That means if modulus of vector minus q bar, it can also be written as q. Remember that modulus of any vector cannot be negative. But you cannot write minus q bar equal to q bar, because direction of vector minus q bar is not same as the direction of vector q bar. So we can write vector minus q bar is not equal to q bar, but modulus of minus q bar equal to q. Suppose if two vectors p bar and q bar, suppose if two vectors p bar and q bar have same magnitude but act in opposite directions as indicated in the figure. That means direction of p bar is opposite direction of q bar. From definition of negative vector, if q bar is one vector, minus q bar is defined as another vector which has same magnitude as the vector q bar but acts in the opposite direction to q bar. That means direction of minus q bar is opposite to q bar. If it is given that direction of p bar is opposite to q bar, it implies that the two vectors p bar and minus q bar have same direction. So if magnitude of p bar is same as magnitude of q bar, then you can write p equal to q. So just write letter p without the bar symbol. Represent magnitude of vector p bar. Similarly, if you just write q without the bar symbol, represent the magnitude of vector q bar. So you can see that the right hand side is same in these two equations. So left hand side must also be equal. Then we can write magnitude of vector minus q bar is same as magnitude of vector p bar. That means the two vectors, vector minus q bar and vector p bar, have same magnitude and also same direction. So in general, if two vectors have same magnitude and same direction, then they are equal. Therefore, we can write p bar equal to minus q bar. But p bar is not equal to q bar, because direction of p bar is not same as direction of q bar. Therefore, in general, if two vectors p bar and q bar which have equal magnitudes act in opposite directions, you can write vector p bar equal to minus q bar. So next I am going to discuss about multiplication of vector with a scalar. In general, if a vector is multiplied with a scalar, we get another vector. So if a vector is multiplied with a positive real number or a positive scalar, then we get another vector which acts in the same direction. Suppose if you are given that A bar is one vector and B bar is another vector given by 2A bar. That means direction of vector B bar same as the direction of vector A bar. But modulus of vector B bar is 2 times the modulus of vector A bar. So in general, if P bar is a vector and N is a positive scalar, then NP bar represents another vector which has same direction as the vector P bar. But modulus of vector NP bar is N times the modulus of vector P bar. Modulus of vector NP bar will be N times the modulus of vector P bar. So in general, if two vectors are parallel or act in same direction, one vector can be expressed as a positive scalar multiple of another vector. That means if A bar and B bar are two vectors which are parallel to each other, you can write one vector as positive scalar multiple of another vector. But if a vector is multiplied with a negative scalar, then we get another vector which acts in the opposite direction. So if P bar is a vector and N is a positive scalar, then minus N represents a negative scalar. That means minus NP bar represents a vector which acts opposite to the vector P bar. But modulus of vector minus NP bar N times the modulus of vector minus P bar. Modulus of vector minus P bar is same as the modulus of vector P bar. So you can write modulus of vector minus NP bar is N times the modulus of vector P bar. Remember that modulus of any vector cannot be negative. So if two vectors act in opposite direction, or sometimes we say anti-parallel, then one vector can be expressed as a negative scalar multiple of other vector. Next, I would like to discuss about the concept of unit vector. A vector having unit magnitude is called a unit vector. That means whatever may be the direction of vector, if the modulus of vector is 1 unit, then it can be called as unit vector. Suppose if P bar is a unit vector which acts in the direction as indicated in the figure, then you can write modulus of P bar equal to 1. Suppose if you are given that Q bar represents another unit vector which acts in the direction shown in the figure. Q bar represents another unit vector which acts in the direction as indicated in the figure. You can write modulus of Q bar equal to 1. Can we say that P bar equal to Q bar? No, you cannot say P bar equal to Q bar in the given figure because the directions of the two vectors are different. Two vectors are said to be equal if and only if they have same magnitude and also same direction. So in this example, the two unit vectors P bar and Q bar do not have same direction. Therefore, they are not equal. It means in general, all unit vectors are not equal. So whatever may be the direction of a vector, if the magnitude or modulus of vector is 1 unit, then it can be called as a unit vector. Now let us consider a vector A bar whose magnitude may be greater than 1 unit. The modulus of vector A bar or magnitude of vector A bar is denoted by letter A, which you can mathematically consider as a positive scalar. Mathematically, the modulus of vector can be considered as a positive scalar. A vector which has only 1 unit magnitude but same direction as the given vector A bar, denoted by symbol like this. We read it as A cap, but A cap should not write A cap in words this way. So what is A cap means you can answer like this. If A bar is a vector, then A cap represents another vector. Direction of vector A cap is same as the direction of vector A bar. But magnitude of vector A cap equal to 1 unit. Graphically, you can draw a vector at any place in the diagram without changing its magnitude and direction. So I have shown the vector A cap separately. So in general, if A bar is a vector, then the unit vector which has same direction as the vector A bar is denoted by the symbol which we read it as A cap. So if A bar is one vector, A cap can be considered as another vector which has same direction as the vector A bar, but magnitude of vector A cap equal to 1. As I discussed earlier in the multiplication of vector with a scalar, in general, if P bar is a vector and N is a positive scalar, then NP bar represents another vector which has same direction as the vector P bar. Modulus of vector NP bar is n times the modulus of vector P bar. So in general, when a vector is multiplied with a positive scalar, you get another vector same direction. The similar way, here I am going to multiply this vector A cap with this scalar A. Just as here in this figure, I have multiplied vector P bar with positive scalar N. That means instead of P bar, I am going to now take A cap. In place of N, I am going to write A. So if A cap is a vector and A is a positive scalar, then when vector A cap is multiplied with this positive scalar, you get another vector which acts in the same direction. That means direction of vector A cap same as the direction of vector A cap, because A is a positive scalar. Means direction of vector A cap is same as the direction of vector A bar. Just as I have written here, modulus of NP bar is n times modulus of P bar. The similar way, modulus of vector A cap can be written as A times the modulus of A cap. From definition, modulus of A cap is 1. Therefore, modulus of vector A cap is equal to A. Means modulus of vector A cap is same as modulus of vector A bar. So the conclusion is that this vector, I mean vector A bar, and this vector, vector A cap, they have same magnitude as well as same direction. So in general, if two vectors have same magnitude and same direction, then they are equal. Therefore, you can write vector A bar equal to vector A cap, or you can write vector A bar is equal to modulus of A bar into A cap. The conclusion is that, the important conclusion of the discussion is that, in general, any vector can be expressed as the product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. In general, any vector can be expressed as the product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. So vector A bar, you can write product of magnitude of vector A bar and unit vector in the direction of vector E bar, or unit vector in the direction of vector A bar denoted by A cap can be written as equal to A bar divided by modulus of A bar. So unit vector which has same direction as the given vector A bar is denoted by A cap, which is given by A cap equal to A bar by mod of A bar. Suppose if B bar is another vector, then the unit vector which has same direction as the vector B bar is denoted by symbol like this, B cap. It means if B bar is one vector, you can say that B cap represents another vector. You can as well show it separately. Direction of vector B cap is same as the direction of vector B bar, but modulus of vector B cap is 1. Now, in mechanics, to discuss the motion of a particle, we choose a coordinate system. If the motion of the particle is confined to single plane, then we call it as a two-dimensional motion. In that case, we choose two coordinate axes to discuss the motion of the particle. Ox is the x-axis, Oy is the y-axis. The unit vector which acts along the positive direction of x-axis is denoted by I bar or I cap. Usually we put the cap symbol for unit vector, but in the case of unit vectors along the coordinate axis, it's not compulsory to put the cap symbol. You may as well put bar. So what is I bar? Means you can say, if you're asked what is I bar, you can say that I bar is a vector which acts along positive x-axis. But modulus of vector I bar or modulus of vector I cap is 1. The same way, the unit vector which acts in the positive direction of y-axis, denoted by J bar or J cap. That means J bar is a vector which acts along positive y-axis. Its magnitude is equal to 1 unit. The unit vector J bar is perpendicular to the unit vector I bar. As I discussed, any vector can be expressed as the product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. Suppose if a force F bar has a magnitude of 100 Newton and acts along the positive direction of x-axis. Again listen. Let us suppose a force F bar has a magnitude of 100 Newton and it acts along positive direction of x-axis. So you can write F bar as product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. Unit vector along positive x-axis denoted by I cap or I bar. So F bar can be written as 100 I cap Newton. Similarly, and let us take another example. Suppose if a particle moves parallel to the positive y-axis with velocity of magnitude 20 meter per second. Again, listen. Suppose if a particle has velocity of particle denoted by v bar, which is direct along positive axis or parallel to positive axis, and magnitude of velocity suppose 20 meter per second, then the velocity vector v bar can be written as product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. Unit vector along positive axis denoted by j bar. So we write v bar equal to mod of v bar into j cap or v into j cap or j bar. The magnitude of velocity is given as 20 meter per second and velocity is direct along positive y-axis. Then v bar can be written as 20 j cap meter per second. So when we discuss the motion of a particle in three-dimensional space, then three coordinate axes are required: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. The unit vector in the positive direction of z-axis denoted by k bar or k cap. So what is k bar means? K bar is a vector which acts along positive z-axis. The modulus of k bar or k cap is 1 unit. It means the three unit vectors I bar, j bar, and k bar are mutually perpendicular to each other. That means angle between k bar and j bar is 90 degrees. Angle between k bar and I bar is also 90 degrees. Angle between I bar and j bar is also 90 degrees. That means the unit vector k bar acts perpendicular to the plane xy plane containing I bar and j bar. The given figure it acts perpendicular to figure and outwards. Now I would like to summarize the entire discussion so far I have done in the introduction part of vectors. So I'm going to show you the PowerPoint presentation. That means that is my printed notes. Now look at the screen. So I am going to once summarize my discussion completely. Already I have shown you the examples for scalar quantities and vector quantities. So from now onwards, I am going to show you the notes for what I have discussed. So those who are interested to write the notes, they can copy the notes. I mean, wherever they need more time to copy, they can take a pause and copy the notes. So these examples already I have shown you on the screen earlier also. Mathematically, the magnitude of vector can be treated as a scalar. That means I am going to show you the list of the conclusions of the discussion. The modulus of vector cannot be negative. So those who want to copy the notes, they can copy this part. They can start writing the notes. And if they need more time to write the note, they can take a pause and write the notes. Equality of two vectors. Two vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and same direction. P bar is a vector. Graphically, you can draw the vector parallel to itself at a different place in the diagram. Suppose if two vectors A bar and B bar having same magnitude act in different directions, then we can write A bar is not equal to B bar and mod of A bar equal to mod of B bar or A equal to B. Next, negative vector. If Q bar is a non-zero vector, then minus Q bar is defined as another vector which has same magnitude as the vector Q bar but acts in the opposite direction. So we can write modulus of minus Q bar equal to modulus of Q bar, that you can write as Q. And minus Q bar not equal to Q bar. Mod of minus Q bar can be written as mod of Q bar, but you should not write minus Q bar equal to Q bar. You can say minus Q bar is not equal to Q bar. Suppose if two non-zero vectors P bar and Q bar having same magnitude act in the opposite directions, we can write P bar equal to minus Q bar or mod of P bar equal to mod of Q bar, which is same as mod of minus Q bar. That means if two vectors P bar and Q bar having same magnitude act in opposite directions, you can write P bar equal to minus Q bar, mod of P bar equal to mod of Q bar. But you cannot write P bar equal to Q bar. You can write P bar is not equal to Q bar. Multiplication vector with a scalar. If P bar is a vector and n is a positive scalar, then NP bar represents another vector which acts in the same direction as P bar. Here vector P bar, this is vector NP bar. Modulus of NP bar is n times the modulus of P bar. If a vector is multiplied with a negative scalar, then we get another vector in the opposite direction. So if n is a positive scalar, then minus n will be a negative scalar. Then minus NP bar represents another vector which acts opposite to P bar. So modulus of vector minus NP bar is n times the modulus of minus P bar, or you can say n times the modulus of P bar. This represents vector P bar here, which acts in this direction. This is a vector minus NP bar, which acts in the opposite direction. Next, unit vector. A vector having unit magnitude is called a unit vector. If A bar is a non-zero vector, then the unit vector in the direction of vector A bar is denoted by A cap. Any vector can be expressed as the product of its magnitude and unit vector in the same direction. So we can write vector A bar equal to magnitude of A bar into A cap. That means vector A bar is equal to magnitude of vector A bar into unit vector in the direction of A cap. In case you want to write the notes, you can take a pause and copy the notes. Our unit vector in the direction of vector A bar is given by A cap equal to A bar by mod of vector A bar. In the figure, this from here to here, this represents vector A bar. From here to here, it is A cap. You can show this unit vector A cap separately, parallel to itself. Modulus of vector A cap is 1, but direction of A cap is in the direction of A bar. I bar, comma J bar, comma K bar denote the unit vectors which act along positive x, y and z axis respectively. The three unit vectors I bar, comma, j bar, comma, k bar are mutually perpendicular to each other. You can write mod of I bar equal to 1, mod of j bar equal to 1, mod of k bar equal to 1. The unit vector I cap or I bar acts along positive x-axis. The unit vector j cap or j bar acts along positive y-axis. The unit vector k cap or k bar acts along positive z-axis. Okay, in the next class, we'll be discussing about the addition of vectors.